Hi, my name is Chef Annie Payton. I'm from Henderson, Nevada, and I grew up in Franklin Square, Long Island. And my last name, my maiden name was DeFalco, so I'm Italian. And my catering company is all about presentation because I learned that from my mom ever since I was 6 years old. I had my first oven was a Susie homemaker in 1969, tells you how old I am. But I love to watch my mother cook, and I can still smell her sauce. So I took that with me. We had so many great memories around the dinner table growing up. And we still focus on food. There's three things food is. Number one, food is love. Every occasion, every anniversary, birthday party, wedding, bar mitzvah, anything, even funeral services, everything revolves around eating and drinking. So that's food is life, and food is love, and food makes memories. And what I learned when my mother was older was that food is also nutrition. So you always want to eat everything on your plate, as my mother would say, and my grandmother, join the Clean Plate Club, and that's basically where I come from. Those are my roots. And I carry them with me today. My mother and I cooked side by side for over a decade. And we had a restaurant, two restaurants out in Henderson, Nevada. And it was the best time of my life. My dream to have my mother next to me. She showed me every recipe that I ever learned was from Mom. And everything was fresh and took hours to prepare and smelled good and looked good. And it was just how I was taught. So that's my background. I didn't go to a professional chef school, but I learned from the best Sicilian lady that taught me when I grew up. Additionally, I had my grandmother with us, all my aunts and cousins, and we always had a full house in Franklin Square. My cousins and my aunt and uncle lived across the street, so there was always a bunch of kids. And friends came over all the time. It was just a great time in life. So what I take with you with food, make it look beautiful and have fun with it. You want to have fun with when you're making food, and have a beautiful presentation, things that make memories, because memories are made around the dinner table. I'd also like to thank my sponsors, Vegas Real Estate, Jennifer Turner. If you need any type of a home, Nevada and Las Vegas area is a great place to retire, and it's also a great place to have a home full-time. So if you would like any information about housing out in that part of the country, please give Jennifer a call. Her number is 702-755-3313, and her QR code is on here, and she's a broker, so she can take care of you all the way around. Today I'm going to be preparing for you my stuffed mushrooms, sausage stuffed mushrooms, as well as shrimp casino, because I'm from Las Vegas and I had to have that for my dad, as well as chicken marsala. And chicken marsala is Sicilian, and my mother came from the Sicilian region, so that's where her family's from. So I'm doing this in honor of my mom, because she's no longer with us here, but she's with me here. In here. Today I'm going to show you how to make our world-famous stuffed mushrooms. And what it consists of is very large white mushroom caps, and mild Italian sausage ground up, a little bit of Italian breadcrumbs. We have fresh parsley, granulated garlic, Pecorino Romano cheese, and we use frozen chopped spinach. The only kind of spinach to use, okay? Just make sure you wring it out. So, and then we also use butter. So it's kind of healthy and kind of not, but I think it's delicious, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So the first step in cooking the stuffed mushrooms, you want to saute this nice sausage. It's about 2 pounds. I'm going to put some butter in the bottom of it so it doesn't stick, and a little bit of water. Okay. have this. You want to make sure you have your wooden spoon ready, and you're going to cut up that sausage so it's almost finely ground. So when it goes into the mushroom, it's not lumpy. You want everything nice and smooth. It's a beautiful, smooth presentation. The sausage takes about 6 minutes to cook. So while we're doing that, I'm going to cover it up so it cooks a little bit quicker. And then I have nice, beautiful white button mushrooms. And they come from, usually I get them at Whole Foods. So Whole Foods is great for their produce. It's beautiful. You want something larger so it looks great on a plate. And I'm going to put them on that plate when we're all finished. But right now we're going to core the mushrooms so they're ready to be stuffed. When you core them, you're going to take some Pam, and you want to use a stainless pan if you can. Usually I use sheet pans because I'm a caterer, but this one works nice in the kitchen. So you put the Pam in the bottom so nothing sticks, and you just take these mushrooms here and we core them. You can use the core. We're going to do later on some chicken marsala, so I'll use some of these mushrooms. We try and use every little bit that we can. You never want to have any waste, so you always want to make sure that whatever vegetable or meat you're using, you take the scrappings and then you use it for something else. That saves on your food cost. So these mushrooms here. The other thing to pay attention to is your spinach. So the spinach, you want to make sure you wring it all out so it's not soggy. And spinach has a tendency to get watery because it's 90% water. So you always want to make sure that you wring out your spinach. And then let me go back and check on my sausage here. It's cooking nice. Oh, we're getting there. Cooking nice. Just takes a few minutes. And with pork, you always want to make sure it's well done. So you never want to have anything that's pink. So just make sure that your pork is well done. If you're using a thermometer like I use in my kitchen, it'd be to 165, but of course nobody at home, you don't need your thermometer, but common sense will tell you when it's done. And then, so we have a little over a dozen here. And the thing about mushrooms, they're going to shrink when you put them in the oven anyways. So my process is sausage, spinach is ready. I cored my mushrooms, and as soon as the sausage is cooked, we're going to put it in a bowl, and we're going to put all the other ingredients in the bowl with it. And then we're going to set it in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes. You want to cool it off a little bit so that it's like a paste. Once the paste gets nice and just not hard, but just solid, then you're going to turn around and you'll put them in the mushroom caps, and then you have a really good presentation, and there'll be no air in it, and we're going to pop them in the oven for about 35 minutes. You never want to overcook mushroom because it's a vegetable, but we'll put it on low, and we'll go from there. Okay, so next step will be up in just a moment. Let me tell you a little story about mushrooms. So these actually aren't, I learned most of my cooking from my mother. She passed away a few months ago. She's on my arm, sorry. But anyways, most of my Italian cooking I learned from her. But I married into a Polish family. On my wedding day, my brother said, "Are you sure you want to marry into a Polish family and not Italian? We're all Italian and we cook Italian." So I said, nope, I'm going to have to learn how to cook a little Polish. So it was my husband's 30th birthday, and I called my mother-in-law and I said, what can I bring? So she says, bring an appetizer, whatever you want to bring. So I'm thinking, they've had my meatballs, they've had my rice balls. What can I make? So I went to the store. I was a little nervous. I had a glass of wine, and then I went to the store. And I went into the produce section, and I'm looking around, and I saw these beautiful mushrooms, nice big white ones. And I thought, okay, but not crab. Everybody does crab stuffed mushrooms. I don't know what to do. So I went over to the butcher, and I saw this nice sausage, and I thought, you know what, we're going to make an Italian flair out of it. So I went home, and when I put it all together, and kind of off the cuff, I thought spinach is good with it, and I just grabbed some ingredients, and that's what I did. I put it in a bowl, and I brought it over to my in-laws' house, and they were the hit of the party. I'm not bragging, but they were. And my husband, he ate 16 of them. And it's now been a tradition. This is 31 years ago. So now it's a tradition for every holiday, every event, I have to make stuffed mushrooms. And sometimes it's annoying because it's a little bit of work, but I'm glad that we have that tradition for the Payton side of the family. And that's my married name is Payton. My maiden name was DeFalco, so that's the Italian side of it. But having a Polish mother-in-law was a lot of fun. Watching her make pierogies, and her and my Rick's grandma in the kitchen making pierogies was a lot of fun. So I've always loved to cook, and you know, you go along and you create. You don't ever, you have a recipe, but you can deviate. And you know, if you prefer putting something else in your stuffed mushrooms, go for it. This is just a basic core class on how to do a good stuffed mushroom where it's not, it's beautiful. And I'll show you in the end. You're going to see a beautiful presentation. And our mushrooms, our stuffed mushrooms, are our signature dish. They've been written up in the newspaper. We always call them famous, which is funny, but the editor of the newspaper said he wasn't sure if they were world famous, but they were Las Vegas famous, where we're from. So everybody came in. It's our signature dish when we had our restaurants. And with our events, our catering events, we make pans of them, we sell them, and it's our #1 seller. So I think that you'll enjoy tasting them once you're ready to go. And the sausage is just about done. I want to explain these other ingredients because they're really important. Okay, so this is chopped frozen spinach, and it's wrung out. You don't want any water in it, so you got to let it thaw out. But I use frozen because it's condensed, and then once you take the water out of it, it makes nicely in for a small stuffed mushroom. You don't want leaves because they're going to be hanging out everywhere. Okay, this is Pecorino Romano cheese. It's sheep cheese. I don't know if you know about Pecorino Romano cheese, but grated Parmesan is made from a cow. But my secret ingredient, which I'm divulging now, I used to never want to divulge it, but I will, is Pecorino Romano cheese. We don't use Parmesan. It's more expensive. It's about $20 a pound, but it's worth it, really worth it. So, and then here, this is granulated garlic. It's not garlic powder. It's not garlic salt. It's granulated garlic. That's what you want. Okay, fresh parsley, that's basic. And then Italian breadcrumbs. You're always going to put those in a stuffing, you know, anything that's Italian. So, those are my breadcrumbs for this dish. There's all different kinds of breadcrumbs, but that's the one you want to use for this particular recipe. Okay, and we are just about there with our terrific. All right, so I'm gonna turn off the stove, and let's see here. Next step, you got to put everything in a mixing bowl. So we have our mushrooms ready to stuff, and we have to get a mixing bowl and put everything in and make a stuffing. So this size mixing bowl is fine for home. When I do sheet pans of mushrooms, I do, you know, they're about 60 come in a pan. So this is just a small pan, and it's a little over a dozen. And we're just gonna pour everything right into the bowl here. Okay. Turn the stove off. And then I'm going to drain this. See, I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's a lot of liquid in here, and we don't want all that liquid. So we're going to drain some of the liquid out. I'll just put it back in the pot so we can use it for later. Okay, so we have 1 stick of butter that's melted. A little bit of it is in here. We'll use this in the pan afterwards. You put butter in the bottom of the pan so it sautés it and it's not dry. So here's where the spinach comes in. The spinach has no, I pre-wrung all the water out of it. So just remember, no water in the spinach. We're putting it in my mixing bowl, and then this is 2 cups of breadcrumbs. Okay, so we're going to put 2 cups of breadcrumbs in. And like I said, remember the consistency has to be pasty. Okay, so now here's the Pecorino Romano cheese. It has a nice texture to it, and it's going to bond that sausage and the spinach and the butter, the whole thing. Okay, garlic. This is maybe about 2 tablespoons I think I put in here. You don't need to put all of it in. Just spray it in here. The problem with Italian cooks, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that sometimes. So I try and measure, but sometimes it's more just an eyesight thing. Okay, so here we are. Make sure you have gloves on, or your hands better be clean, or don't put them in that bowl, okay? So I have my gloves on. I always do. Got my hair back, and I'm ready to roll here. So I am mixing up that nice warm sausage with this nice cold spinach, and I smell the garlic. That smells really good. So the reason why I cool it too, like I said, you just want it to solidify and get pasty, so it'll hold nice in the mushroom cap. And I'm just going to put a little bit more of the pecorino in it, because it's feeling just a little bit, and maybe a little bit more of this. Okay. In the end, we sprinkle the rest of the granulated garlic on the top of it, just for a little bit. So, yep. Texture feels good. Look, so what you want to do, it holds. It holds. So you just want it to cool off a little bit, but the consistency is the key. And what you're looking for is this. It's pasty. So it's gonna go into looks like a little golf ball. But we'll stuff the mushrooms together, and I'll show you how. It's a little bit of a trick, so no air gets in them. You have to put the sides down, but I'll show you that when we get to it. So for now, off with the gloves. I'm going to put some saran wrap on the top of this. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and then we're going to come back in about 20 minutes. We're going to stuff them, and then we'll put a little bit of butter in the bottom, and I'm going to bake them for 35 minutes, and we're going to go on to Shrimp Casino. Welcome back. So while we're waiting for our stuffing to cool down in the refrigerator, I'm going to show you a beautiful salad. It's Heirloom Caprese salad with crushed pistachio and balsamic glaze. It's my favorite salad for a few reasons. I love color. You want color on a plate. This is my favorite platter to put it on. And I'm going to give you the ingredients. I want to tell you a little bit about heirloom tomatoes as well, because they're open pollinated. So that means that either the wind or insects, bees, anything like that can carry the seeds and travel with them. And heirloom tomatoes are specially grown, and they're seasonal, and I found some really beautiful ones to share with you today. Look at these colors. Look at this. Wait till I cut it open. You're just going to go, oh my goodness, I want to eat that. And the yellow is actually my favorite. The yellow has pink in the middle of it. And then look at this. Some people might go, ooh, that's bad, it's brown. Nope. It's got a little bit more of a tart taste. The sweet ones are going to be the red ones, and the yellow ones are a little bit kind of in the middle, but the tart taste ones are going to be the brown ones. So look at this. Look at this shape. Even if you put it in a centerpiece on your table with your flowers while you're working on it, it's just gorgeous. So the Heirloom Caprese salad, mine anyways, is I'm going to slice up different colors of heirloom, and I'm going to layer them around the bowl. I have fresh basil right here. It's organic. And then I love cinglini. These are my favorites. So that's a mozzarella ball, but it's very small, and they call it a cinglini. Either use that or a pearl, but I got the cinglini today. A little bit of granulated garlic, again, not powder, not salt, granulated garlic. I love crushed pistachios on a salad. They're the best. So I crushed up my pistachios. They're ready to roll. And the best thing ever is balsamic reduction. It's thick, it layers nice, it looks beautiful, and that's all there is to the salad. Other than Annie always has flowers on her plates. That's just me. I like to put flowers out. It makes a pretty presentation. So I'm going to take this tomato first. I'm just going to slice it. Look at that color. Is that gorgeous? Oh my gosh. I just love it. So I'll slice up a little bit of each. You want your slices to be probably around 1/4 inch. Okay, not too thick, because it really is a big slice. So one is going to be enough for people. We'll do 4 slices of this one. And there we go. So we're going to layer these nice. Look at how gorgeous. Oh my gosh. And you can scatter them color is just the best, so we're going to scatter them, and we'll be back in just a moment. While my mushrooms are cooling down, I finished this beautiful Heirloom Caprese salad. Look at how gorgeous this is. Look at all these colors. My favorite is, I don't know if I can pull it, this one over here, the red one, because of its density and its shape. But look at all the different colors. It's just gorgeous. And what I did, I chopped up some fresh organic basil, and I garnished it with a little bit of fresh ground pepper, and then crushed pistachio. Don't forget your pistachio. Just put a little bit of pistachio on top on each one. And then I always have to have flowers for beauty. And then you just want to take a little bit of your balsamic glaze, and we're just going to go very lightly. You don't need anything else on this salad. If you want extra balsamic, you just keep it on the side, but this is the final presentation. And that's our Caprese salad with heirloom tomatoes. Next up, I believe our stuffing should be cooled down, and my sister Susie, who loves stuffed mushrooms, is going to bring me over the stuffing. Thank you, Susie. Thank you so much. So it's cooled down. Yeah, it's cooled down. And all we do, usually take the largest ones first, and then we'll do the smaller ones to fill in. You want to make it pretty. Don't forget, everything is about presentation, so you want it high. Okay, we have a cover that's high, and that's why. So you have a nice, probably a golf-sized ball, and you want to take the sides and pinch them down. You don't want any air getting in the mushroom. So you're going to pinch down all the sides, just like so. Put it back, take another. When these go out the door to your guests on the table, I call it the wow factor. People follow it with their eyes. Right, Suze? Yeah. So don't forget, a pasty texture and no air on the sides, no lumps. Make sure it's tightened down, and do the larger ones first. And they will shrink, so if you get a pan, tighten them in, and that's what it should look like when it's stuffed, okay? So pretty good. And then after we stuff them, I'm going to put, you don't want a lot of butter, but you need some butter for moisture. Otherwise, mushrooms will dry up really quick. So it's kind of a little bit of a, you might have to practice once or twice, but you take that melted butter over there, and you just want to put it a little bit in the bottom of the pan, and then we're going to put a lid on it so the moisture stays in, the heat stays in, and it's even in the oven. You want your oven on low temperature, so I suggest 350. Don't go any higher, because otherwise you're going to burn them. And check on them periodically. All ovens are different. My oven in my kitchen is at 350 for about 35 minutes, and that's a standard in in most homes. That would be what your standard would be. If you're in a commercial kitchen and you got a Wolf Sub-Zero like we have here today, it has a tendency to be a little bit more sturdy and cook things faster. So at that point, you might want to check on them right around the 25-minute mark. But either way, you want them to look cooked, golden, and beautiful. And I'll show you what they look like when that occurs. And when it does, you're going to be happy that you have your mushrooms all ready to eat. And they smell good too. I just want to show you as far as the butter that goes in the bottom of the pan. We're just going to go you don't have to pour it on the top. You want it to go on the bottom. And there we go. And then as long as it's on the bottom as is, that's perfect. So while I'm finishing up and putting them in the oven, we're going to go on to the next dish. Thank you. Our mushrooms are finished. I just pulled them out of the oven. Always want to make sure that you have a pot holder. And this is a really good one, always be nice to the chef. So I'm going to take it and put it on top of the lid, okay? Ooh, they came out nice. So I have a little serving dish here. It's heated. I have a little bit of butter on the bottom just so that it doesn't stick. And we're going to take out a few at a time. And I'm going to show you what they're supposed to look like. Okay. Oops, to go over. They have a tendency to be slippy, just so you know, but don't burn your hands. You want to make sure that you use either a spoon or a tongue and scoop up a little bit of the juice that's in the bottom of the pan so it stays moist. But these are really moist, and the lid stayed on because we didn't get any air in between the stuffing and the mushroom. That's a key. We want to make sure that you do that. And the mushrooms are soft, but they're not overcooked. Remember that, because it's a vegetable. So you always want to make sure that it's soft but not overcooked. And then it'll be nice and juicy and tender. And I really hope that you enjoy these. I'm just going to garnish them, okay? So I take a little bit more of that delicious sheep's milk Pecorino Romano cheese. You're going to sprinkle a little bit of that on top. And then a little bit of parsley just for the looks. Everything's about the look. And yeah, so, oh, not too hot. Okay, so this is what the mushrooms look like. They're ready to be eaten. And thank you for watching. And I hope your mushrooms come out well too. Enjoy. Welcome back. I'm going to make now, being from Vegas, I thought I'd throw in a little pun on Vegas. So I want to make our shrimp casino. It's a delicious dish and it's gorgeous when it comes out of the oven. So just so everybody knows, shrimp come in many sizes. I know you go to the grocery store, you see a 22, you know, a 13, a 26, a 30. So the smaller the number, the larger the shrimp, okay? I always use 13, 15s, they're my favorite. They cut up nice, they butterfly, and when they're in the oven and they cook, they're gorgeous when they come out. Another really pretty presentation is about to occur, okay? So we're gonna butterfly the shrimp. So you just make a little slit and put your thumb in it, okay? So you flatten it out, and then you're gonna put it in melted butter, okay? Italian breadcrumbs. Make sure you get them coated nicely. And you're going to take applewood smoked bacon. They're long strips, cut them in half. That's all you need. This is how you present it nice. You're going to wrap it over the top, but you're going to tuck it underneath in the little fold on the shrimp, okay? So this is what it's going to look like, okay? And you want to put a little bit of the pecorino cheese on it, and we'll do the parsley at the end. So real quick. Butterfly the shrimp, it's a 13, 15. Press on it so it's wide and ready to roll. I'm going to put it in our Italian flavored breadcrumbs. My father was a casino boss. We moved out to Vegas in 1979 from Franklin Square. He was a casino boss, and he retired from Bally's in, 1996, I think. So he had a great career. And he was probably my best quality control taster. He ate everything. Okay, shrimp, butterfly, thumb, butter, lots of butter. Okay, cover it in your breadcrumbs. Take your bacon, put it over the top, tuck it underneath, and make sure it's flat. This is a cookie sheet, and I sprayed Pam on it. But the reason why I use cooked shrimp too, I should address that, is because uncooked shrimp is going to overcook, believe it or not. Cooked shrimp is it's gonna soak up all the fat from the bacon. So when you open your oven, you'll have a lot of juice in the pan. But that's bacon for you. But boy, is it delicious, and they're nice and moist. So I think you're really going to enjoy these. So once again, roll, flatten, stretch. Pretty. I'm going to do one more, and then I'll finish rolling my shrimp. I'm going to put them in the oven. Every oven's different, like I said, but just keep an eye on them. Your bacon has to cook. You want it brown and cooked. So I'm going to approximate on the oven that we have here in the studio that we're going to probably go about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll let you know exactly, but each oven is different. And you want to make sure that your bacon is cooked, of course, because it's pork. So you want it at 160 if you're using a temperature thermometer, or 165. And if not, just keep an eye on it. Okay, so I'm going to break and finish up and take them over, pop them in the oven. Thank you for watching. Welcome back. I'm going to show you how to make our olive tapenade now. It's real simple. Make a great spread on beautiful artisan breads. Guests love it. It looks really pretty and it's very tasty. But I'm going to forewarn you, you have to love garlic. Okay? Story behind it real quick. Rockstar used to come into our restaurant and he loved olive tapenade. We didn't have it, so one night at 2 a.m. we were in the kitchen making mixtures. So this is my recipe with my Rockstar friend. Very simple. Black olives, green olives with the pimentos in them, fresh peeled garlic, Pecorino Romano cheese again, granulated garlic, and the balsamic reduction, which all this is salty, including the cheese. So the balsamic takes the salt taste out of it, cuts it off and makes it a little on the sweet side, okay? So you just need a little food processor. It's real simple. And I layer everything. So first you're going to do a few cloves of garlic in the bottom. You just want each to be a layer, okay? Next up are the green olives. Okay, another layer. And then in between we're going to do our Romano cheese so it goes in the middle, okay? And then your granulated garlic. Like I said, it's loaded with garlic. You got fresh garlic and you got granulated garlic. So I'm forewarning you, so don't say I didn't warn you. Now we have the black olives, okay? Okay, and then food processor, balsamic reduction, that's going to take away the salt taste. Okay, and the color is going to go a little dark because of this, but it's real pretty. I think you'll like it. Okay, and then we're just going to snap on the lid. You don't want it too fine. There's an art to this. So you do it total about 30 seconds. You want to make sure that the olives are cut. They go through the middle. And you want to make sure that your garlic, most of it is cut up. You can leave a few pieces that are whole for ornamental look, but and you just press it down, and then we're going to do it again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, voila, beautiful olive tapenade. Your guests will love it. Now, what you do, you take it and you spread it on that gorgeous artisan bread that we have over here. And smells good. Okay, there's our olive tapenade. And coming up, we'll go back to the shrimp. They should be done, finished in the oven. And we'll plate those. So thank you for joining us. Welcome back. So our shrimp casino is finished. It took approximately 16 minutes to cook it in this oven here at 350. And they came out nice. This is what they look like. And I'm going to put them in my little dish here. And you want all the tails facing the same way. They look like birds, okay? So make sure it looks like a little bird. The tails go in the same direction. And you see how the bacon is cooked thoroughly, and the shrimp was already cooked. We didn't really have to worry about that, but the bacon is the part that we want to make sure is definitely cooked thoroughly. And this is really fun. It's a conversation piece at a party, as people look at it and go, oh my God, what is that? It looks like a bird. So a lot of people will gather around your little plate, and for those who love shrimp, they'll really enjoy it. And like I said, don't forget, 13.15's on the shrimp. Okay, Italian breadcrumbs, butter, and applewood bacon. But you can use any kind of bacon. That's another thing I wanted to tell you. Bacon comes in all different kinds of flavors. So what I choose to use today was smoked applewood bacon, but pick any flavor you want and enhance that beautiful shrimp. So it really doesn't matter what flavor bacon you use. Just make sure that you can wrap it underneath in the skin of the shrimp so that it stays nice and it looks like a roll. Then I'm just going to garnish it with a little bit of Romano and a little bit of my parsley. Okay, and now I'm going to put it out front here so you guys can take a peek. And that's Shrimp Casino from Annie's Gourmet Catering. Welcome back. This is Chef Annie again. I'm going to show you how to make chicken marsala. The reason why I chose this dish is because we make it a little different than the normal recipe, and it was our most popular chicken dish in an Italian restaurant. So it's very simple. You can do it. You need flour, just plain all-purpose flour, nutmeg, brown sugar, beautiful sliced white mushrooms. I love mushrooms, and Marsala wine. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry, and the butter. So we have salted butter. Don't use unsalted. The salt has to mix with the wine. There's a certain chemistry that you have to have. And so you want salted butter, okay? First step, you're gonna put our pan on the stove and we're gonna put a stick of butter in. While the butter is melting, we have to tenderize the chicken. The key to great chicken marsala has to be thin, pounded really, really thin, okay? You want it tenderized. This will melt in your mouth. We also made veal marsala at the restaurant. That's an alternative to this, but the marsala is awesome. So we're gonna let this, just let the butter melt. Next, not the chicken, butter, sliced mushrooms. The chicken's gonna lay on the butter and the mushrooms, okay? So let me get my wooden spoon over here, okay? And while we're melting the butter, we're gonna put in all these mushrooms and make a layer, okay? And then we're gonna take, look at how thin this is, okay? See how thin that is? Very thin. You're gonna take your piece of chicken and you're gonna dredge it in the flour, okay? Get a nice coat on it, and I'll tell you why. The flour is key because the end result is a thick brown gravy. It's beautiful, but you won't get it thick if you don't use enough flour. The flour makes it thick. So you got a nice thin piece of chicken. You're gonna lay it on top of the mushrooms. Another piece of chicken. Lay it on top. I'll do a few more. So if you have a dinner party for 6 people, I would probably make 8 or 10 pieces. You always have a few good eaters that are going to want a second piece, but When the chicken is flattened, it really turns into a big piece. You want a nice chicken cutlet cut, by the way, okay? Perfect chicken. Dredge it in the flour. That nice flour going. Lay it over the mushrooms. One last piece here. Then chicken. And stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes to see how this starts sauteing. Okay, so we have butter, we have mushrooms, and as I said before, we have the chicken dredged in the flour. You can layer it a little bit, it's not going to hurt it. I think I have 8 pieces in here now. You can put it all in one pan because we're going to float the Marsala in a minute, okay? And we have nutmeg. You just want to take a pinch. You don't want too much nutmeg. It's very, very potent. Just a few sprinkles all over each piece, okay? This is the key. So we're using salted butter for a reason. The reason is it blends with the flour and the dry wine, and it creates a gravy. It's very salty because it's salted butter. So my key to making it not salty is brown sugar. So just take your brown sugar and you want to put it all around your pot. And cover it up a little bit, okay? And then now it's time for the Marsala wine. And we're gonna when you have sauteed dishes like this, ooh, that smells really good. You want to keep everything moist as you're cooking it. It's a quick saute, but you want to keep everything moist. And in the end, the last product is going to be just chicken with gravy, but you have to get there. It's kind of like a chemistry class. That's what I would certainly compare it to. Okay. We're going to start flipping the pieces from the bottom up. Okay. You don't want to, we're not burning them, but like I said, it's a chemistry class and it's a process. So you flip them over so they cook. Okay. A little bit more Marsala wine. Marsala wine is your best friend in this dish. And for those of you that don't know what Marsala wine tastes like, very sweet. So this is actually dry, but it's still, chicken Marsala is a sweet dish. Do you see how it's starting to get it like a brown glazed look to it? So if you look at this, the mushrooms are getting a brown glaze. Looks almost like a syrup. And then the chicken is getting a brown glaze as well. And cooking wise, on the saute, it's probably about 6 to 8 minutes. It depends on your stove, and it depends on your chicken as far as so anyways, as soon as it's done, I'll plate it up and I'll show you the end result. Stay tuned. Okay, so it's been 8 minutes since our chicken and mushrooms and all the ingredients have been put into the saute pan. We have a really nice rich gravy going on now, and the chicken is cooked. We flipped it several times, so now I'm going to plate it. And chicken Marsala is really easy to plate, and then it's the gravy that makes the grand finale on it. So those gravy and mushrooms. Now, the gravy has become a reduction, so you don't need to take all the chicken out of the pan. I know a lot of chefs do it that way, and that's fine, but my way is to leave it and do it last. It's over the end result. Just over here. See how caramelized the mushrooms are and how dark brown the gravy is? Marsala wine is dark, and your mushrooms and your final presentation should be dark as well. Okay. I got a little messy here. I'm gonna have to let me do a little wipe here, right? Everything you want, you know what, no matter what you eat and what you present, it has to look pretty or people aren't going to want to eat it. Just remember that. So no matter what comes out of your kitchen, make sure it looks nice. And use your fresh herbs. Use your fresh parsley. Just a little addition can make a big difference. I don't put parsley on the actual chicken, it's just as a dressing. Reason being, it takes away from the look of that beautiful brown gravy. So this is your final presentation, and I hope you enjoy it. My name is Chef Annie Payton, and I'm from Henderson, Nevada, and the owner of Annie's Gourmet Catering and Events. Thank you for joining us today. Just in summary, what we've cooked for you today, I started with an heirloom caprese salad, and we have our stuffed mushrooms with sausage and spinach, shrimp casino rolled in an applewood bacon, chicken marsala, and our artisan bread with olive tapenade. You can find me on Instagram, Annie the Vegas Caterer, okay? And my website is anniesgourmetcatering.com, and thank you so much for joining us. I would like to thank my sponsors today as well, Las Vegas Real Estate and Jennifer Turner. If you have any questions about moving to Las Vegas or the Henderson area, it's a great place to live, and we would love to have you out there. If you are looking to buy a house, please contact Jennifer. Here's her information and her QR code, 702-755-3133. She made this beautiful chef coat for me as well with my mom on the arm. I want to thank my mom and dad and my family and all my staff. Anyways, and I want to thank all these people behind me. This is my family here. So I have my best friend Susie, my best friend Patty from 6th grade, her husband Sal, my big brother Frank, and my other big brother from another mother, Tom. And I just want to say something. Tom's mom passed away the same day my mother did, on All Saints' Day. They were both very old. They were both very Sicilian. They loved to cook. Mrs. DiBiase showed me how to make my arancini, and I'll be forever grateful, and I know they walked up to heaven hand in hand. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And remember, memories are made around the dinner table. Now let's eat! Bye.